Today we're back with Steve Giles from Sage House Properties, and he's going to show us how he's going to convert this rundown office into 5 modern flats. Steve, good to see you again. For people that don't know you, can you tell them a bit about your background?
Hi Joe, yeah thanks, good to see you too. I was a construction director with 30 years experience, and more recently I've been a property investor. As you know, the last 12 months I did 3 property flips, and now since I've done a bit more further training, I'm now looking to go into commercial conversions. So
it's a slightly bigger project than the video we did previously with the bungalow. What do you plan to do with this project?
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit bigger than the bungalow, isn't it? But it's got a beautiful building, a beautiful Victorian building. We're looking to convert it into 5 flats, 4 1-bedroom and 1 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
But looking to achieve a high specification and trying to keep as much of the original features as possible.
Yeah. And are you going to look to rent it out, or are you going to look to sell it?
Yeah, we're looking to hold it and rent it out. We're looking to title split after purchase, and then look at the high-end young professional market.
Yeah, and whereabouts did you find this deal to start with?
That's interesting, Joe. Yeah, we found this property about 18 months ago, but I did the numbers and it didn't stack. But it sold, but then it fell out of bed, and about 9 months later it came back to the market. Again, the numbers didn't work, but it sold again. But then it fell out of bed again for the third time lucky. Early this year, January, it came back on.
Yeah.
This time the numbers worked, so I jumped at the opportunity.
You saw it right in.
Absolutely.
So Steve, can you tell us a bit about the history of this property?
Yes, Joe, this was a detached Victorian property in an affluent area of Lincoln. The council purchased the property, I believe, back in the 60s or 70s, and they converted it into offices. And it's been redundant for a couple of years, empty for a couple of years, and it's part of their stock which they're selling off now, as it's not required.
So they had 10 offices originally. You knew from your education and just experience that you convert that into 5 apartments. How did you kind of know that straight away, sort of thing, from the offset?
Yeah, the key thing is educating. I did further educate myself with like title splitting, and I know that through a prior approvals class MA, which is a planning prior approval route you can take, where you convert Class E offices, commercial property, into Class C3. There's a route there, but there's a certain criteria which you need to tick the boxes to achieve that. And what would you say that the criteria would be you need to tick for this property? So there's a thing called National Minimum Space Standards, which, for example, a 1-bedroom flat needs to have a minimum of 37 square metres. So what we did at the beginning, using these drawings, having the square metre areas, we just did very simple block plans to making sure how you could carve up this building, making sure you could get the right criteria, i.e. 37 square metres for a 1-bedroom flat, and how many flats you could get into this space. And that's very high level, and that's what we achieved it.
So you're going to buy this property as 1 freehold, and then you're going to split it into 5 leasehold properties, is that right?
That's correct, yeah. We are actually, to maximise the property development, we've actually got a second full planning application running alongside the route MA, because what we want to do is to maximise the space. We need to change some of the windows, we need to alter the roof line round here, and that is, because we're in a conservation area, isn't a slam dunk. But the deal works just by doing the original baseline scheme, but if we manage to get the second full application approved, that will maximise the GDV.
So Steve, what progress have you made with the conversion so far?
Well Joe, to be honest, we haven't even got the keys yet, but we've made a hell of a lot of progress. As you see, I do a Gantt program chart, which I'll break down into 3 sections. One is to do with the conveyancing, one is to do with pre-construction CDM requirements, which is basically law, and then the rest of it is actually the work itself. So on the conveyancing side of things, once I knew that the numbers were going to work, and I know the Class MA route is going to be a slam dunk, I've instructed members of my power team, so that's my architect, my planning consultant, my accountant and my solicitor, to progress with this, which enabled us to get the planning submission in for both the Class MA route and also the full planning route. The second part of it is I need to make sure that I don't end up in front of the man with the curly wig. There's certain things of law you need to do, which the client has a responsibility as well as the main contractor. And on this project, on both. And ultimately, once I've got all them in place, I know that I'm safe to start on site. I then do a task link program for all the activities, starting from making sure the asbestos R&D survey has been done, all the services are isolated, and the certificates are issued of safety that they're all dead. Then my soft strip alterations can be done, and then obviously all the trades then follow on from that, from the alterations through to first fixing, through to stud and partitions, down to finishes, and ultimately onto final testing, commissioning and snagging.
Brilliant. Talk to us how you're going to convert these offices into 5 apartments then.
Yeah, Joe, so 2 key things for us to start with is obviously minimise the amount of structural work we need to do, i.e. alterations, walls to come down. And you can see by the existing floor print and to a proposed floor print, they're very, very similar. The second thing is actually trying to keep as many original features as we can. As you can see, the 2 front offices will become apartment 1. This has got beautiful original features in the ceiling, which we want to keep, and that will create an apartment of 48 square metres. The remaining 2 1-bedroom apartments would be to the rear of the property. Apartment 2, creating the 38 square metres, and apartment 3 just is 37 square metres. Up onto the first floor, towards the front of the building again, that's becoming a lovely 57 square metre with a great open plan kitchen living area. And then to the rear of the property will become the last apartment, apartment 5, creating a 68 square metre apartment, 2-bed apartment, very large. It's got a 3.5 metre ceiling with a vaulted roof. So we're considering at the moment is to have that as a vaulted ceiling, half, and with a mezzanine floor with either a bedroom with a shower room below or a study above with a kitchenette below.
So Steve, the moment everyone's been waiting for then, so what are the numbers for this deal? So what did you actually purchase property for?
So we've secured this property, Joe, for 310. Originally it was on the market way back for 425, which fell out of bed a couple of times. Came back on the market, as I said, in January for 325. Our original offer was 300. We upped our bid a little bit because there was 4 other bids on it as well. But as we was in a better position to proceed with, cash buyers as our proof of purchase, solicitors details, we secured it for 310.
310. So how much money did you actually have to put into the deal to actually be able to convert it? So like, architectural fees?
Our acquisition costs about 90k. And that includes architect fees, planning consultants, accountants, solicitors. It also includes stamp duty, legals, and it also includes interest back to our investors.
Brilliant. So about 400 all in before you start the renovation. So what would you reckon the renovation cost will be?
Forecasting 250, and that's again that's including everything. The utilities is probably the biggest sort of like abnormal cost, which is pushing the numbers up.
Yeah. So about 650 all in then. What do you expect the GDV, the end valuation, to be for this project?
Again, conservatively forecast the GDV of 850.
Right, so 850, so you get 75% loan from the bank, so that'll be around about what, 650? 640. So you're going to leave around about 10 grand
yeah.
your money?
Yeah. And the plan is if we do obviously attention to detail and get the specification right and we can push that GDV a little higher, the intention is to try and be a money out deal.
Brilliant. And what will you rent the property out going forward to be?
It's about 5,700 a month, and with a net profit of 2827.
Right, wow. And so we're going to follow you along this whole journey from inception during the renovation and delivery of this project. So if you guys want to follow along with this project, make sure to press like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.